So for example, 1 million users are logged into your website. It will not be nice and cool if they are all reading from one single database.
Oh my god! You did nothing from
What does a bottleneck mean? It means that your server will become very slow or even eventually crash. You are welcome to my YouTube channel, and in today's video we'll be looking at a very interesting topic: how to build a scalable website, a website that can handle a large user base. Now, in order to build a scalable website, there are some fundamental principles you must follow in such a way that if these principles are violated, it will definitely tell on the performance of your website or platform. So in today's video, we are going to be trashing those things out, and you will have a better and deeper understanding of how to build a scalable website. So stay tuned and let's get started. Alright, welcome back, and let's just get straight into the talk of today. Number one thing you must understand, and you must never violate when you want to build a scalable website, is that you must not use a single server for your website. Now let me explain that. A single server means you have only one server that process all the requests and every operations on your website or on your platform. Now, instead of using a single server, you can now use microservices, and that's where the concept of microservices comes in. Microservices means you break your app into smaller services, and each services run independently to serve a single platform or website. Let me explain more so that you are going to understand. For example, now you have an e-commerce platform. Now there are so many operations that can be performed in an e-commerce website, but let's just take these two as a case study. Number one, authentication, and number two, transactions. We deal with payment and other related things. Now, instead of using a single server to process all this operation, you can split them into services. That means you have a server for authentication, you have another server for transactions, and server for other things like that. Now, the reason for this is because if you use a single server, as your user base grows, your server can have a bottleneck. What does a bottleneck mean? It means that your server will become very slow or even eventually crash. So now, in order to avoid bottleneck in your server, you split your app into services so that a single server will not be overloaded or cause bottleneck. So instead of using a single server, you can use the microservices concept, whereby you split your app into smaller services where each of them runs independently. The number two principle you must follow and obey when you are building a scalable website is you must implement load balancing. Now, what do I mean by load balancing? Before I delve deep into load balancing, first you need to understand the meaning of traffic. Traffic means the number of users that are visiting or requesting from your website or platform at once. Imagine after implementing microservices now, if 1,000 users hit a single authentication server at once, that server can crash or it might even be overloaded and become very slow. That is where load balancing comes in. Load balancing or a load balancer is, let's just imagine it like this, is something that sits in front of your servers. Then as traffic or requests are coming in, it picks them and distribute them across servers so that one will not be overloaded. Now let me give a very good example. For example, you have an authentication server. You can have like 2, 3, 4 authentication server. These servers are performing the same thing, but now you're having 4. Now while you're having 4, you now have a load balancer. So as requests are coming in, it's going to split those requests. For example, we have 500 users trying to log in on server 1. As another request is coming in, instead of directing it to server 1, it directs it to server 2, and server 2 perform the operation. So a load balancer begins to distribute requests and traffic evenly so that a single server will not be overloaded. So you need to implement a load balancer in your website if you want it to be scalable, if you don't want it to be slow, and if you don't want it to be overloaded. Number 3 is caching. In order to build a scalable website, a website that can handle a large user base, you must cache. And to cache, I will advise use Redis. What is caching? Caching means storing frequently used data in a memory where it can be easily accessed instead of eating your database regularly. I just explained in a layman term. So now, for example, instead of eating your database every single time request is being made, you just cache those frequently used data and fetch it from there. And the most interesting thing about this caching is that it makes your website very fast. So cache frequently used data, and to do that you can use Redis. So caching is very important. You want to build a scalable website and a website that can handle a large user base. In all these things, you must have a good architecture and structure in place. Number 4 is database scaling. When we are talking about database scaling, it means instead of using one database to perform all read and write operation, you can do what we call read replica in such a way that you have different database which are replication of the main database. Now, one single database for performing write operation, while for reading you have multiple databases. So for example, 1 million users are logged into your website. It will not be nice and cool if they are all reading from one single database. That database can just, you understand, it can go down. So instead of doing that, you can have replications of a single data of the main database. Now, instead of 1 million users fetching already from a single database, you can distribute them evenly across those databases, which are replication of the main database, and it save you a lot of stress of database failing and so on. Number 5 is content delivery network. All your users will not be from Nigeria alone. All your users will not be from the United States alone. So content delivery network allow you to display or release data to users from the server that is nearer to them. So for example, now I'm a Nigeria user. Instead of using a server that is located in the United States, content delivery network ensure that I can fetch my own data from the server closest to me. So like in implementing this, your website will be fast and also scalable. It will not give you headache and all those stress of server failure and platform crashing. I've just mentioned a few of the principles that must be followed in building a scalable website or a platform that can handle a large user base. If you know anything that I've skipped or omitted, please drop in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, because more videos are coming. Thank you. God bless you. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. See you.